play it cool.
Hey all! Welcome to DavionFuxa Plays. This is Horizon, a 4X strategy game that was recently to come out. It's in the old style of the old games such as Master of Orion or Star Trek Birth of the Federation and all that. And for the most part, it's a space game oriented in space for 4X. For the most part for this episode, this is going to be like sort of like, I guess a quick overview of what you can sort of expect of this, the game, and not much more else than that. We're actually going to do the tutorial here, jump into the missions with the Earth Alliance, and I'm just going to basically, showcase, what's going on with this game, and not really play the game, but sort of show off what it's about. And we're going to do game of Italy, blah blah, accept. Let's just, look at it.
Everything nominal. Tracking unidentified object. Receiving telemetry. Confirm coordinates and status of array. Sensor overload warning. Analyzing sensor data. Gamma rays off the scale. Roger, we have a problem. Voyager, collision alert. Collision alert. Multiple failures. Initiate restart. Signal restored. What is that thing? It's huge. Notify command immediately. Modulating frequency. Receiving unknown transmission.
We, the Cortas, have sent this message throughout the galaxy for all sentient beings. It is our story. Long ago, when we did not exist, and even this galaxy did not exist, the Orion War. Immortal and immaterial beings of pure light and energy the Orions have always been. They created us. We were the first. Yet, we failed them. We are a mistake and have to be destroyed. Not all of us were lost. Some of us fled into the vastness of space and set forth a plan.
Alright, I'm just going to cut the recording just slightly right there, and we'll just jump right back in. Okay, welcome back. So, a new venture. In the year 2020, so about 6 years from now, or 5 years I guess at this point, an extraterrestrial probe was discovered near the edge of our solar system. A transmission was sent from the probe containing a message from a species named the Cortus. As the new commander of our new fleet, I have granted access to this classified message. So this is a classified message. No one on Earth really has really seen it, but you have right now. It's a message from the Cortez. We are the Cortez have sent this message throughout the galaxy for all sentient beings. This is our story and our struggle for existence. Long before the galaxy had formed, before we came to exist, immortal and immaterial beings of pure light and energy roamed. These beings, the Valerians, have always been, they are our creators. The Valerians engineered us in an effort to build an ideal material companion race. There were trials that followed our creation to ensure compatibility between our two people. In these we did not endure, and they consider us a failure. Our undoing was desired by the Invarians, and in the battles that followed, many of our kind were lost. Some of us fled into the vastness of space and set forth a plan to rid the galaxy of our architects. So, our plan to spread the spores of life throughout the galaxy in hopes that these seeds would birth new civilizations that might aid us in our struggle against the Varians. The Varians have learned of our plan and were intrigued. They did not interfere, and the galaxy was left to mature. We hid while indigenous people emerged throughout the galaxy, some evolving to spacefaring civilizations. They watched, and we understood their intent. Undaunted by their lack of success, our makers persist in their pursuit to find their companion race. This companion race, whom they promise to elevate to a higher level of consciousness. Be cautious in your galactic travels, for our struggles for survival may yet become yours as well. We fear this, and we must not allow this to happen. So, probe in Pluto's orbit. Along with the message from an overwhelming amount of alien data, it was taken over 100 years for our researchers to adapt to this information for use. The year is now 2151. Portions of the data uncovered have led us to a ship designed capable of interstellar travel. The probe has since drifted to Pluto. My orders are to send a crew to Pluto on one of these ships to investigate the probe and retrieve what we can. So yeah, that's basically the background story for what's going on. Instructions attached. Attached, you'll find instructions on how to proceed with your mission. And then this is where you sort of get into like tutorial bits of this, of this tutorial. Lieutenant General Tomlin, Green's commander. I've been tasked with guiding you through the basics of our systems. And basically, he's just going to give us like some information on how we're basically going to go about playing the game. Basically, the first thing he's going to do is like build a ship, and we're going to basically build a ship, go investigate the Cortez ship over in Pluto, and then just get technology and stuff from it. Now, before we actually do that, I figure let's do this first. Many who have played Master of Orion or Star Trek Birth of the Federation, I'm just going to say Birth of the Federation for referring to that game, and other games of its ilk, they'll probably notice that this is very much like, a very similar type of map design to what you might play with in those games. And it's worth knowing, I want to stress this very, very carefully. This is a game that's more of a throwback to old 4X games like Master of Orion than it is really into like the standards of today's games. Basically, you have a galaxy. It's split into six sectors here, and you have a lot of these solar systems that basically contain planets. So right now we're in Sol, and that's of course the home system of the humans. Basically Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, blah, blah. You already know all these planets. And then you have other planets as well. So basically down here with a solar system, it's an unexplored system. And then over here we have a neutron star. There's a black hole over here. And yeah, there's all these lovely space elements that you've probably grown to love from like the Star Trek universe in here and all that. Anyhow, so that's just basically a sort of gist of what to sort of expect, like, the sort of, games where I played those games. But let's just get back into this game, and I'll just, show how to play it and all that. So here in Sol, we're basically tasked with investigating the artifact that's in Pluto. We know from the tutorial that it's there, not in contact, but we still have to get to it. We're basically just going to go on Earth here, and we're just going to build a ship. He's basically going to tell us to build a small scout, so we'll do that. So that's how we do that. We just basically put one into the queue. Now, I want to just sort of go over an overlay of what to expect, I guess, from the sort of user interface. Something that sort of threw me off immediately when I got into this game was sort of the information and how it's presented to you. In a way, it's very similar to say how I guess the information is presented back in Massive Orion and Birth of the Federation, but they have it done a little bit differently. Essentially, you have a whole lot of stuff that you can basically build. You can build up, I guess, a certain amount of buildings on each planet that you basically inhabit. And they can be a trade, government, entertainment, farming, industry, and research. In addition to these, you can also get like defensive and orbital buildings, which are basically stuff that orbits in space, like star bases and shipyards, and then stuff like underground, like barracks and missile defenses and all that. Something I know, I guess, about the information is that a common complaint is that people don't really know what it means, and I'm more or less much the same. I don't know what a lot of this stuff does when you build it and all that, but you know, whatever. It's basically what it is, and I'll just leave it at that. So for now, we're just going to basically wait a few turns for our scout to construct. So yeah, blah blah blah. Keep pressing turn until it constructs. Got it. So 1, 2, 3. Alright, blah, 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 we build our scout ship. So basically, this is something to note. This is very similar, I guess, to sort of like the last term report, you guess, in like Civilization 5. It was presented as like, you know, this little tab here. Basically, you have like galaxy news and diplomacy, colony, discovery, and military. In this case, we only have like one little item pop up for military. We build our scout. So basically, we've got our scout. And when a ship has been completed, it's placed in its own task force. Task force can be merged, blah, blah. Basically, you can have up to 10 ships in a task force, or you can have like, you know, a lot of like separate task forces if you want. Essentially, it's like one of those games where you can manage like, you know, a bunch of ships in like a fleet, and they can use those fleets to do whatever you want with them. So for now, it's basically telling us to go orbit Pluto with it. So that's what we're going to do with this scout. Basically, we're going to take this guy here, and we're going to just orbit Pluto. And yeah, it's going to give you this annoying tutorial a little bit here, but this is sort of important to learn in a game, so, you know, there's a reason for it. So blah blah, good. We're going to waste a turn to let our guy orbit there. Now the ship's in orbit, we can basically engage the sector. So this is basically how, I guess, the comet sort of engages in this game. You basically press engage sector when you want to engage a sector, and then from there you'll basically go into like a sort of like, you know, system overview of what's going on. Alright, so basically humans attacking Cortez. We're going to engage them, and this is where we're going to get like sort of like, you know, tactical combat type of scenario. So blah blah blah, blah blah. It basically can press auto at any time if you really want to, but for the most part, we're just going to attack this guy for now. You can read this all stuff if you play the game yourself, but for the most part, what it's saying is find this guy, attack it, and board it, is what they want us to do. Alright, so here's basically the sort of like, you know, system overview. Essentially, this is the system that we're in. This is like, you know, our sun, sole sun. Over here, there's Earth. And then, of course, we got our planets like Mercury. Down here, we've got Uranus. There's Neptune. If I go to this one right here, there's Mars. We'll probably colonize Mars eventually in this game. At least the tutorial usually makes you do it, so I mean, yeah, we're gonna probably colonize to Mars. Alright, so basically we're down here at Pluto, and we're basically tasked with like attacking this probe. So let's get with that. So basically, here's our little scout, and we can move him around, so blah blah, he can move around. And something I know about this game is that you can actually turn your ships, and this has like its own tactical properties as well. So basically, in combat, you'll notice like right here, you have your ship has like this sort of like, you know, shield overlay, but it's actually broken into like these segments, so it's like a segment here and a segment down here. Essentially, notice basically when I'm attacking the probe here. So right now, you'll basically see like this sort of red lighting up in that probe there. When I attack him, and do I have to press this? Or am I not in range or what? Not, or not enough power. Okay, let's just press done. Alright, there we go. I'm just going to basically attack this guy. So right now we're basically attacking his shields. And basically how the combat works is you'll attack like a portion of the shields, not like the entire shield. So it's kind of similar, I guess, to say, so like the sort of X-Wing or Star Trek approach. Basically, they're taking damage, but it's not overall damage to the shields, but rather to a specific component of the ship. So in this case, we're just attacking the front of the ship there, so blah blah. Now he wants us to board, but there's a little problem with that. Basically, he wants us to board this ship, and my apologies, I failed to recognize this ship is missing a component by all the boarding. Hooray! He's a stupid idiot. Alright, so, yeah. Stupidity is stupidity. We're just going to auto be done with it. To board a ship, we need to get a ship with assault shuttle, so we'll have to do that. Okay, so let's maybe jump into Earth here. And we're going to go and do a design of a ship that can basically board that probe over there in Pluto. So what's going to basically do here is get us to design a ship. So for those who have watched my Endless Space Let's Play, you'll probably know something very familiar here. Essentially, we're going to design a ship. Yes, we're doing design again. Hooray! For those who hate that sort of thing, guess what? It's in this game and you may not like it for it. But whatever, it's fairly easy and understandable, so don't worry too much about it. So essentially, what we're going to do here, we basically have like all these ships, and we need to take like a medium ship here to go after that guy. Let's take the transport free ship here, and let's just, you know, dump up a few things on it. So we're just going to take off those and those. So basically we're going to give ourselves a little bit of space here, and we're going to put the assault shuttles on this guy. So let's go here and put on assault shuttles. And what else can I do? Actually, something to note, by the way, if you go to like yeah, you have to, you know, the sky change or not. If you go to the original one here, basically it's going to be like, to put on like the assault shuttles, we don't have enough space, so you basically have to make sure you got enough space to put on your thing. So yeah, basically it's, you gotta worry about space requirements and a lot, much like in Endless Space. So it lets you put on more space than you have initially, so you can see what, you know, stuff costs and stuff like that. So that's a nice thing, I guess. Yes, we're gonna go back to transport free. Yeah, we want to go back to transport free here. Gonna take this stuff off, take this stuff off. What does this stuff do? That gives me more space. I might want to have some auxiliary pods, but let's just go in here. We're gonna put on assault shuttles. Now, something to know about your ships. Basically, supply bays are really important. They basically give you these abilities to basically travel longer distances. And we'll probably want this for our ship, so we'll put on a few supply bays and stuff. This will give us the ability to go much farther with our ship. Alright, we'll do that. So we got basically lots and lots of supply bays. Let's just go up to 15 turns. And we'll put on this measly laser cannon just to fill up the rest of our space and give it a, you know, a weapon for use. So we're gonna save this as Assaulter. So there's Assaulter. It's basically a ship with a supply range of 15 turns. So if you want, I'll just notice this. Basically, all your ships will have, like, you know, a supply range that they can go out to. And then they can't go any further. So if you play, like, you know, like the games of Master of Orion and Birth of the Federation, you'll notice that ships can only go so far from their original system. So blah blah blah, you can now build your new design. Basically you have to cycle through your ships here to get to the one you want. So in this case we want Assaulter. It'll take us 12 turns to build this badass, but you know, it'll be nice to build. So there's our Assaulter. He's prepped to be built for 12 turns. Now, I suppose I should note something while I'm doing this. You're noticing that I'm doing something, and it's not something that I'm very much, you know, akin to liking. Click, 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 click. Major progress, blah blah. We got some tech research done. We'll get to that in a bit. Basically, some upgrades were done because, you know, we got, you know, the research for it. All right, when finished the ship, we can complete our mission, orbit Pluto, blow up the ship, and then, you know, do whatever else. We don't actually have to do that, by the way. We can just engage the sector, and we'll just do that. So right now, our ships are basically here. They don't make you have to orbit Pluto, which is nice. We're just gonna move this guy down here, and this guy will move all the way over here. He's gonna attack that guy. Have you attack right there. Now note something, by the way, that if you turn your guys in a way that they can't fire, so if I like turn like this, this guy can't fire because he's out of arc. So basically, your weapons, how your ship face will actually determine if you can fire or not. So in this case, we're out of arc, so we can't fire our ship at this guy at the moment with this guy. If I do this with this guy can basically, you know, turn around however he wants to. But yeah, this guy, he has to actually face him to attack. And there we go. Now, we're going to do this. Because that's the mission. We're just going to go do that. Blah, blah. Commendable performance, Commander. The crew has successfully boarded a probe and will return to the home. Ship at the end of the turn with any updates. Got it. Alright, so blah, blah. We've basically done that. Auto. Draw. And apparently we got ourselves a new discovery has been made in new biotech technology. So we actually learned a little bit about xenobiology and all that stuff. New tech from the probe. Scientists have extracted information from the probe that has helped us to discover new technologies. So we've discovered some new technologies, but we don't yet blah, blah, blah. We're just going to go do a technology bit now. So this is one of the things I really like about this game, is how research is done. So right now our scientists have discovered a few new technologies, but we don't yet know how to put these technologies to use. So basically this is something very interesting about this game. Unlike in, say, Civilization 5, where you can basically, you have to basically research like dynamite to actually use the things for dynamite. Basically in this game, that's not how it works. So blah blah, technology research. Alright, so basically here's your technology tree thing. And I really like this because basically you've got like all these different technologies, but they're at different levels. So right now, say interstellar comm here is at 0. We actually, we theorize, have a concept or whatever, know about interstellar comm, and we know that it's a technology that we can have, but we actually have to sort of figure out how to actually apply it. So I guess it's sort of like, Newton's theory of gravity. He sort of like conceptualized what gravity was, but he didn't really do have like any tests or anything for it or stuff like that. Eventually you've also got like, other stuff of that nature. So basically, we can conceptualize what the technologies and concepts and stuff like that, the theories and all that, but we actually haven't yet put any like prototypes or anything to use to actually apply it to our, our endeavors. So what we're going to do here is, what it's basically telling you about research, and this is something else I like. Basically, we can focus our efforts on researching interstellar comm here. So basically, boom, perfect to research without prior is this technology. What does this did? Basically, I told my researchers to focus on this one right here, and that'll actually make it so that more of the scientists in the electronics field will actually focus on interstellar comm. Additionally, if I want to, I could go over here and click on electronics, boom, and now I got basically, out of all my scientists, all the scientists that are basically, I have available to myself are going to be looking at electronics research. So basically, I can focus my scientists to basically focus on a specific technology, but this is something to really note. Notice that these are still 10% and whatnot. So these stuff are still all going to get like, research every single turn. I'm going to get a little bit of Reebox research. I'm going to get a little bit of nuclear energy research. This is all going to still be researched while I'm researching interstellar comm. So it's a really nice thing about how research sort of works in this game. Anyhow, so that's basically research. Return. On our way to Pluto. I don't know, so we haven't colonized Mars. Blah, blah, let's just do that. So yes, they give you the order to basically colonize Mars. So we're going to go to Earth here, and we're just going to build a colonizer. So let's go to medium ships here. Click this so we get to the colonizer. This is how we colonize new planets. We'll put up 1. And then we'll just wait 9 turns or so until we get that. So click. 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 Yeah, I'm going to keep emphasizing this because of the fact that you do this a lot. And looks like you got a little bit of a breakthrough in interstellar comm. So basically, at this point, once we get the breakthrough, we've actually gone from like the theory stage all the way over to like, this is actually technology that we can use stage. So if I actually go into text right now, you'll notice that this is now level 1. So we've actually reached a point where, if I look at interstellar comm, we can actually put some tech to use. So this gives us a range of 2 sectors for basically giving commands for our guys. I won't go into what the techs actually do for just like playthrough, but basically that's like, we researched this tech, now we can actually use it. Okay, so let's just get back to building our colonizer. So blah, 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 build some turns. Major progress has been made in other stuff. So yes, as I said, we're still doing research and everything else. And yeah, the Starbase and our stuff have been upgraded. Major processes have been made in interstellar comm. So we've actually made more progress in interstellar comm there because we've got a heavy focus in it. Interstellar broadcasting. So basically, we've got a new concept to make use of. And we actually built our colonizer, very good. So basically going through here, you'll see that we built our colonizer down here. Over here, we basically have now got ourselves a new technology to look into. So this is basically interstellar broadcasting. The breakthrough requires before is required before the technology can be used. So basically, we have to get technology breakthrough in that. So as you can see, it's now 0. But if we actually focus on our efforts on that, we can basically get it in 3 or so turns. We can also do this stuff over here, by the way. I'll note that basically you can make it so that each field can like have a specialization. So if I want to, I can specialize in laser cannons, I can specialize in doing tanks, I can specialize in nuclear engines, or I could like say just leave it off and it'll just divvy up the research between all the techs in that field. Alright, so we basically have a colonizer here, and we can actually order this guy to colonize Mars. So let's do that. And we'll go colonize Mars. This will basically make this guy colonize Mars the next turn. And blah blah, we now colonize the outposts on Mars. Alright, so colonization is complete, and we can now use Mars as a colony. We can go over here, click on this. Alright, so here's the outpost built on Mars. Basically, now that we've successfully colonized Mars, you can manage the planetary facilities. We currently have a listening post, but we can't really do anything with it. So, this is something to know about this game. Essentially, kind of like Endless Space, your colonies, they start out as just a military installation, I guess we'll say, and then you have to sort of upgrade them into an actual colony. So, right here we have to click on this, basically upgrade in 5 turns to be an actual colony that we can actually build stuff on. Right now it's just, a military installation that we just basically maintain to maintain a presence on this planet. We don't actually have a colony, we just have a military presence that says this is our planet. That's it. We put claim to it, and that's all we've done. Okay, so this is something else I want to note. Basically, our colonizer just had a refit. You'll learn a little bit about that in a moment, but we'll basically I'll basically do a little bit more with this past tutorial. This is sort of emulate a couple of other things that they aren't in the actual tutorial themselves, but they're extremely important to note. So blah blah, turn. Yes, produced a lot. Alright, so we now have a colony on Mars, and what this basically means is that we can actually build stuff on Mars. So now that the planet supports the civilian population, infrastructure can be built. Hooray! And it's suggesting that we build up a farming facility so we can actually, maintain an actual population. So boom, we're going to build a population there. So basically it's telling you that farmers produce food that require fertile soil or farming facilities, industry workers produce industry and require industrial facilities, scientists produce research and require research facilities, blah 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 blah. It's basically what it's telling you right there. Essentially you have like a number of workers per colony, and you can only you basically have say a workforce. This is like the amount of people that you can basically divvy up to do like farming and industry and scientists and all that. And then the other 67% just don't do anything. Anyhow, so basically this 33% they're going to be used to essentially build up our food production. They're going to build up our industry, and they're also going to build up our research. And now appears like the money stuff that we don't really care about. Something else to note, by the way, is that you can also put this stuff on, say, a governor. And what this will do is it'll actually make it so that your governor here, like what I said right here to do. I said so it's going to basically allocate about 50% of my budget every turn to build up stuff on this planet. So basically, what this is going to do, he's going to basically take over to build stuff on this planet for me. Blah blah. It seems we're not the only ones who detected the progress, so it wants us to go attack these barbarian pirates. Yes, that's what they basically are, they're pirates, but whatever. We're going to basically engage the sector and deal with these damn pirates. Alright, now something to note, by the way, is that if you have multiple factions, you can actually engage multiple factions with your guys. So basically, we're just going to click here and engage the pirates. Pirates and scavengers are not associated with any government body. Basically, they're the barbarians from Civilization 5 in this game. So, that's what they are. Basically, you can wait, you can use comms, retreat, attack, blah blah. Alright, so over here, we got this guy. It's a pirate. He has to be dealt with. The bastard. We're going to send our assaulter down to say hi to him. So here's where I basically want to make use of, tactical positioning. So essentially, I want to make it so that this guy can basically face the fire at this guy. And I want to focus my efforts on attacking this guy at the same place as these guys. So, whoops, I did that wrong. We're going to attack basically in a, a very dictative manner, I guess. You can just, retreat. This is my colonizer. I don't want him getting killed, alright? So, just head over there. And then I want the scout to get over. Over to attack. So we're going to move him here. And basically note that right now he's basically able to attack the pirate in the front. So this is sort of important to note. Basically, you want to make sure you're attacking these guys at the same flank, or else basically you're going to spread around the damage and you're going to do less damage as a result. And blah blah, they can attack too. So this guy moved over here. So if you look at my assaulter now, he basically is out of the arc to attack this guy. And if I actually move toward him, Notice that basically I'm now attacking him in the flank, this pirate. That's actually sort of fine, I guess, but we actually want to attack him in the front. So we're going to move our ship over to here. And I'm actually out of the arc. Basically, it's one bad thing about bigger ships. They take, longer to move around. So, done. We're just going to move you over there. Done. See, I noticed if I basically move my guy over here, and I move attack, we're really attacking the pirate in the back. So basically, you have to sort of think about flanking and how it's going to, work with your ships. And barely not enough engines for my engines, so done. Ooh, my scout gets attacked there. So yeah, you're getting attacked here as well. So basically, let's have our assaulter move over to here. And I guess that sort of used all its move points, so he can't do anything else. And let's have you basically just attack and done. Notice that I basically had sort of a waypoint there, so I kept moving. So we'll do that with this guy, so he'll basically move for me. Alright, let's have you move down here. Nice thing about scouts is that they're nice and maneuverable, so I'm basically able to attack very easily with these guys. Okay, done. Hey, look at that, we finally got hit on him. So you notice basically that I've hit his flank there, so his shield's got in yellow in that specific area. Here's a move out of the way. And note that basically if I attack him with this guy, I'm going to hit him back. So I'm going to move this guy over here. And then we're just going to apparently attack him in the front. Didn't mean to do that, but oh well. Whatever. It works. So yeah, you basically want to attack him in specific areas. Right now we're attacking him in the front now. Which is fine. Notice that basically initiative is sort of a thing here. So the scouts here are getting a lot more initiatives than like the bigger ships. Boom. More damage. Another attack. So for those people who like to have, lots and lots and lots of different, like, sort of mechanics available to basically make use of, this is like a really great game, I guess, for like, like sort of ship-to-ship combat inside of like the 4X Lake Junior. Personally, I don't really care for this type of, style of gameplay, but there's the auto thing for me, right? So that's fine. So excellent job on the Battle Commander. A few things to keep in mind whenever engaged in battles is basically distance, direction, and energy. Distance can impact weapons as some have a limit or optimal firing range. Ships have different maneuverability, so a small fighter can move around the battle more effectively than a mothership. And when attack is deselected, left clicking on the screen with a valid move range will fly your ship to the location of your cursor. So it's worth basically knowing that direction is very important to both offense and defense. A squadron of ships flying at one portion of the ship can tear through it more effectively than surrounding the ship and hang it from all angles, as I'm sort of like trying to describe here. Defensively, the ship can rotate to face the damaged side away from the squadron in order to prevent critical damage. Right-click on the screen will rotate the ship to face the cursor or until its energy or moves are depleted. Energy consumed from all actions, moving your ships, firing your weapons, or using specials will consume energy from the power or moves. When they are depleted, or actions require more energy than is available, the action cannot be completed. When you complete all actions you wish to perform, then turn on the auto and complete the remaining rounds. Blah blah blah. Auto, we're done. The pirate gets bonus smithereens. Something else to know is that you get these like sort of little animations here with like this like sort of like robot that like gives you like the ISN news. It's basically this is like the top story. This is very like a big throwback to say Civilization 2, I guess, or all the Civilization games, where basically you have like today's top economics, who has the most money. So right now the Cortez have more money than us. They're basically swinging credits. All right, so that's basically it for the tutorial. Thank you very much for you. And we're basically done the tutorials. Now we're sort of in the main game, I guess. Though we won't be in the main game for this specific episode. I'll still like go around to sort of like describe a few things of note. So first things first is that you basically explore this game, and basically what we're going to do is we're going to have this guy here. We're going to give him the order to survey a system. So this guy we're going to send him over to. Let's go over to this star over here. Basically we're going to send a scout to explore over there. The assault. we're going to survey, so I'm going to have this guy actually go to fire systems, I think. So let's move this guy really, really far. And let's move him all the way down. Let's move in this direction. So we'll send this guy over here. And then the colonizer, we're just going to send him over to right there, normally. So what I've done basically, I've had these guys, the scout and the assaulter, move to these sectors as they basically just start exploring all the planets in those sectors. And the colonizer is going to move to this sector, but he's not going to start actively exploring it. So basically, we're just going to do a little bit of moving here. And these guys will just move around a little bit. Now, note that this like sort of like, little line here. Basically, you have like these two lines here for your ships. If I click on this guy right here, I can basically still give this guy orders. If I actually move him outside of this like field right here, I can't actually give this guy orders in transit. So basically, what this interstellar comm travel thingy here, interstellar comm right here, what it's basically telling me is that I have like a sort of range of 3 sectors where I can basically command these guys. Inside this sector, I can command them while they're moving around. If basically I move out of this sector, which I can, basically, if I click on the scout, he can move this far out into the galaxy from my planet here. So that's basically how far the scout can move around if he wants to. Alright, let's just press turn. So basically the colonizer arrived at the destination, the assaulters arrived at his destination, the scout is also, getting there as well. So right now these guys, they're going to explore these sectors, so we have like these planets. We don't know what these planets are all about though. We can tell that this one's a toxic, this is a toxic, this is a toxic, this one's a barren planet. Over here in the techno sector, we have like an oceanic planet, Terran, volcanic, desert, and oceanic. So that's a good sector to look around in. And then we've also got this like really crappy one over here. So this is just basically a blind planet system. We're just going to have our colonizer basically explore. Let's see here. We're just going to have a survey Sacros, and that's what going to be done. We'll send probably up to Technos in a moment. So blah blah. Basically, our assaulter finished. Basically went over to survey Bartek 1. We still haven't surveyed this one yet, and we still have to go there. The colonizer managed to explore his one, so yeah, that's great. So basically, we can see what the planet's all about in here. Basically, we can see it's like a small barren planet. It's got abundant resources. It can support no population because I can't, build populations on a barren planet. So we're going to send this guy up to Technos, and we'll build like a settlement, I guess, one of those on a Terran planet probably in here, probably. This is basically, it's got poor resources, but it is a habitable planet, so that's the nice thing about it. Genetic manipulation, we got a breakthrough. Very nice. It's not going to apply genetic manipulations, which basically gives me more industry, research, boarding combat, and ground combat. And the assaulter managed to finish exploring Bartok over here, so that's great. Okay, so when you see this like architectural report, like dig thing right here, it means that our guy can actually dig something. So we can actually order this guy to dig on Bartug, and we might be able to get something from that. We'll probably get technology from exploring Bartok 4. And now we're just going to keep exploring over here. Alright, so treasury income has increased by 10 BC, whatever the currency is, from Raiders booty on Bartok 4. So basically, we managed to get the Raiders booty. Yes, it's a goodie hut, those like little dig locations. Okay, you're gonna go over here. Now this guy's just gonna normally there. He's not going to start surveying the plants immediately, but whatever. And turn. All right, so Scout has basically finished his exploratory run. I can basically send him elsewhere. So let's send him to just survey this system next. The colonizer is going to colonize the planet. So let's tell him to. I'm not even gonna, I'm not going to basically play this game. So let's just colonize the first Technos 1 here. Now, note that basically, if I want to, I can't like command this guy to do anything. Basically, the task force is basically outside transit, or basically he's in transit and he's outside communications range. So he's in transit and I can't communicate him because he's outside this border here. But he can move around until when he gets to this sector here, I'll basically be able to command him again. So this guy's out of command, and the Scout will also be out of command once it gets over to this sector 2, until he stops moving, and then I'll be able to give him orders again. So you're colonizing, so blah blah. We got the nice little colonizing screen for colonizing oceanic planet. Alright, colonizer now with new orders. Now, something to note then about this game. Essentially, if I go into Technos here with this guy here. Oops, I don't want to do that. I want you to... Okay, well, let's just do this. So, basically my colonizer here, I want to basically sort of emphasize this. You notice that right now his colonizer pods are grayed out. After you basically colonize a planet with a colonizer, they basically have their colonizer pods put on like a gray list, I guess, right here. And as a result, he can't colonize any of our planets, so this option is now grayed out. What I have to do to get him, like, basically to colonize stuff again, I have to first send him back to my home planet over here, and he has to dock with the starbase at Earth. Once he docks at the starbase at Earth, he'll pick up some more people, and then I can send him out to colonize more systems again. So, that's worth noting. Another thing to note, by the way, is that because I colonized some Technos over here, I now have a little bit more range for moving my guys around. So if I look at the scout here, he can actually move a little bit out here. And as you can see down here, he actually has... I can actually, you know, command this guy even in here now with the broadcast range, because it's been extended a little bit to basically surround my new listening post in Technos. So, nice things about, like, you know, exploratory nature of this game. Basically, your colonies will let you basically expand your movement range to explore farther and farther into the galaxy. And I haven't really been doing anything, I guess, in Mars over here. Okay, I did build some stuff here, I guess, in Mars. With, like, you know, some stuff built, but my guy couldn't build anything else, I guess, because I set my treasure, I guess, really, really low. So if I actually set this up to, say, 100%, he should actually start, you know, doing stuff. So turn. This should go down next turn to be, like, something else. And we apparently have encountered hostiles, or not hostiles, just another race for now. Basically, we've just come across someone else. And it's the Barsig conglomerate. So this is another one of the races in the game. I think they're like the economic race. So dealing in goods. Hey, you there, newcomer. You could use some more trading around the lazy galaxy. What would you say to stepping up a notch? If you can convince us to open trade routes and improve trade yields from all your colonies, the Bartenders Society might notice you. I promise that this is something that that should interest you. So basically, more tutorial nature stuff. An offer one might choose to refuse. Basically, forget this guy. More traffic means more witnesses. That's bad for business. My name is Don Barcel. Don't call me Donnie. Ask anyone to tell me who really runs the show around here. You've heard of the Barsec junkyards, of course. The lavish facilities filled with endless junk. Researchers could use this structure to build countless prototypes and understand new technology sooner. My offer is this. Don't help the trader and we'll get you access to the renowned Barsec junkyards for a small annual cut of your profit. 5% of your gross income. What do you say? So basically, you have like these options here, like do stuff. So you can say you got yourself a deal. No, thank you. I'll sleep on it. Basically, let's go with no, thank you for now with this guy. So he won't offer that again to me. Now, if I want to, basically, I could go into like races here, and I could talk to like the guys over here now. So we can communicate, and I can say offer friendly greeting. So this guy wants like trade treaty. Oh, well, he doesn't want it. So, whatever. But basically, that's like sort of what you can do. You can go in here, like, do trade trees, non-aggression packs. You can make demands of people. You have, like, lots of options, you know. Kind of like Civilization 2 or 3 or whatever else. You got lots of options, and you're not, like, you know, this watered-down versions of stuff. Though, kind of like Civilization 5, there's, like, no, what can we say? Much like Civilization 5, there's, like, nothing to tell you what, like, each of the options really does or what the sort of impact is on, like, the guys. By the way, this over here is like where the sector I found these guys. So here's like the Barsec's home thing right here, and then over here I guess is there's their capital world. So that's his capital right over here in Rashkin, and over here he's got a colony. Anyhow, our guy here can like just survey his planet, by the way, and all that. So let's have him start looking around, have a look at the Barsec's Arshag sector. I should know something, by the way, but if you click on, like, you know, races here, you'll notice that this guy's got no contact. Obviously, we know these guys exist, but we haven't got contact with them yet. But if you communicate with them, we can actually get a really early hello with them. So it's good to meet a new young spacefaring species. We can propose a trade track if we want to. Hey, look at that. He basically says, trade pack will allow space fighters, blah, blah, blah. We got to trade with him. So now we met those guys. Their homeworld is over here, apparently. So here's Tazor. Capital of the Cortez Alliance. And yeah, that's basically, you know, a lot about diplomacy right there. Alright, let's get started. Commander, there's an incoming message from a Kentari Elder. I felt strength from my people shift, blah, blah. So basically, this is one of the other races that you can basically find at Kantari. They're, how can I put this? They're basically Klingons. They're Klingon-like, you know, races. They're Klingon race in this game. They're warrior-esque. Okay, while pursuing a merchant's meager wares at Atlantis, I was offered a spot at the Battlehammer, blah, blah, blah. Cool. With the offer's very detailed description of the handle, we have the opportunity to build a functional replica. A replica may not be as strong, however, and could potentially fail during us, indicating to Katero that it is a fake. So I could try to get a replica, or I could say, no, transfer to an offer, no, transfer to an offer to pay the merchant for a real handle. Alright, so we want basically option 1 there. So blah blah blah. It's one of the, like, the sort of like quest element mission type things in the missions that you basically can do. I'm playing missions right now of like the gameplay. You can play this like normal stuff, and we'll get into that in a bit. Alright, our colonizer here is moving towards Earth. He'll basically go to Earth and, like, you know, refret his thing. Cool. Alright, so basically we got our trade routes to those guys now. So agreement was ratified to Barside to open territories for merchant ships. And if I want to, I can get this guy to explore around. We can do that now. So we can have him survey over here. And this guy's done surveying the one plant in this sector, so we can go over here. Alright, so note that this is my colonizer over here. He's now got full colonizer pods, so because he went back to Earth, he can basically now, you know, get his colonizer pods refilled and go colonize elsewhere now. If I want to, I can make him, like, colonize, let's see here. I think we can colonize the Arctic Pluto over here. So basically, if I want to, he'll now colonize Pluto. And that'll be colonized next turn. Alright, so basically, let's do one more turn here. And now we're colonized on Pluto, blah, blah. Pluto's been colonized. So that's basically a big gist of what this game's all about. You're going to be doing, like, sort of like, you know, a Master of Orion or Birth of the Federation type of gameplay here. And, you know, I'll get into, like, what the gameplay is really like when I actually do a real, like, playthrough of this game. For now, that's just going to be enough of, you know, what to expect when I actually play it. And just to sort of go over a little bit again about the options in here. I didn't really go over this stuff, but you can actually do a lot to sort of, like, you know, change how, like, the sort of game setup works. So note that basically if I want to, I can have, like, more stars. So I can have a fair amount of stars. I can have a high amount of stars. Very high amount of stars. Or I can have just low stars. So basically, there's going to be 3 star systems concentrated at the center of the galaxy. Not a whole lot. Average is what we have right now. Quantity of anomalies down here basically can choose a number of, like, you know, black holes and neutron stars and stuff that are going to flow around a galaxy. So I have a whole lot of these anomalies if I want to. So note basically it's down here, it says scenario normal. Basically, if you want to play, like, sort of like the classic 4X type of game, like, say, found, like, Civilization gameplay and all that, you can go down here and, like, the classic. Classic's basically, you know, everyone starts on equal footing, and you only have one world and the same technology level. If you play on, like, normal, like I was right there, normal is actually going to have it so that everyone's on different footing. So it's very possible they might run into, say, the Kantari Republic, those guys I say are like the Klingons, and they're going to be much more advanced to me. And basically you have to sort of, like, play around with, like, you know, sometimes I'm just very strong enemy, or just one of these other new guys that you don't really worry too much about, but they will be a threat eventually. You can see, like, quality of plants down here, so you can have, like, you know, a lot of plants per system, or very little. You can have, like, common amount of habitable plants, or you can have, like, you know, rare. You can have special plants that can be, like, common or rare. Basically, down here, missions, basically just, like, sort of changes, like, how, like, you experience the game. If you want more lore, put on missions. If you don't, turn it off. That's all I can really say about it. It also changes how you can win the game, by the way, as well. If you have missions off, there's something called, like, this sort of, like, galactic council, and it's sort of like the diplomatic victory type of condition, and it's only available if you have missions turned off, I guess. If you have them turned on, then missions turned on. You don't have that option. You'll have to, like, basically like, go through the lore to basically win the game. The diplomatic way, I guess we'll say. So that's basically sort of an overview of Horizon. I'll be jumping back into an actual series for this game. I hope you've enjoyed. Take care.